Hey guys, so tonight I happen to be in a particularly good mood, which is very unusual for me. You guys remember that Super Nintendo bundle I mentioned in my first vlog? You know, the one that I was thinking of selecting that naive woman in inflated price, the one that didn't know much about video games? Well, I just checked the auction and it ended up selling for $302. $302. That is a huge number for the stuff that I was selling. Wishful thinking. I thought I might get between $200 and $250. And a couple of people emailed me before the auction was over, offering me certain amounts of money if I ended the auction early. First offer I got was for $100. I turned that down. Somebody offered me $130. I turned that down. Until about 2 minutes before the auction ended, it was up to $142.50. It was more than the highest offer I was given. Literally within the last 2 seconds, the price went from $220 to $302. Yeah, that was really awesome. Just exceeded beyond my expectations for how much I was going to get for this thing. I'll show you actually what I just sold. Here it is. Look at that. Got a nice Super Nintendo bundle here. Got 23 games. Game Genie, you can see the code book there. Manuals. I had all but 4 of the game's manuals. Game Genie, Super Game Boy, controller, Super Nintendo, kind of working. It really makes me wonder what I would have gotten if my Super Nintendo was actually in full working order. As I mentioned in my previous blog regarding the subject, that the Super Nintendo was only half working. I mean, it works, but it takes like a couple tries to boot. I really went to a lot of detail to explain the exact condition of my Super Nintendo, all the games and everything. I actually have not received the PayPal payment for this item, so I'm trying not to get too excited until I actually get the money, because I actually had an experience last year. Normally, for all my eBay auctions, I only sell to US residents only. But for one eBay auction, I decided, well, hey, how about maybe I try selling to Canada? I mean, Canada, you know. They're basically American. What's the big deal about Canada? So I was selling a DS, the original model DS, and the winning bidder ended up being some French guy from Quebec. Never paid me. The only message I ever got from the guy was a message in broken English. It was almost word for word. Sorry, do not have credit card. And that was it. When I put it on eBay for the second time, it ended up selling for a little bit more the second time. I got really lucky there. So, since the last time I reported on this issue with my Super Nintendo bundle, we kinda hit a little bit of a snag. Allow me to read you a nice little note that eBay left underneath my current auction. You received payment from blah 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 on December 2nd, 2008, and the funds in your account are being held. PayPal will release the hold after 21 days without a buyer dispute, claim, chargeback, or other action. The hold may be released earlier if either of the following occurs: buyer leaves positive feedback, or 3 days after PayPal confirms item delivery. To help make sure your sale goes smoothly, please ship the item. This is followed by a kind of a dick message from my buyer. Please let me know when the items ship with tracking or delivery confirmation number if one is available. Also, please package the items carefully. I'm sure they'll be fine. I'd just like to receive them in the same condition they're sent in. So, in layman's terms, what all that means is that PayPal is withholding my funds, because for some reason they consider this particular transaction to be high risk. In my 2 years of eBaying, I have never encountered this problem before, nor have I ever shipped out items to people until I got my money. I pretty much spent the entire day after the auction was over talking to representatives from eBay and PayPal. I talked to eBay 3 times. In all 3 instances, they merely reiterated what I was required to do and were completely unhelpful. PayPal was semi-helpful in that even though they didn't actually give me a solution to my problem, they at least told me what to do and assured me that I would get my money. at some point. By now, I'm sure that most of you regular eBayers are aware of the steps that the company has taken within the last year or so to basically fuck over sellers. The first real step being earlier this year when eBay brilliantly decided to eliminate the ability for sellers to give buyers negative feedback. Now, this apparently came upon the heels of many buyers complaining that sellers would give them negative feedback in retaliation for buyers giving sellers negative feedback for either slow shipping, I guess, or for mailing them the wrong shit. So somebody really high up in the food chain at eBay decided, well, let's just eliminate the ability for sellers to give buyers negative feedback. Wow, what a really bad idea. Now, I can understand that if you're on eBay, you're probably more likely to be ripped off if you're a buyer as opposed to a seller. But if there are buyers out there that are like not paying for their shit or writing bad checks or something, don't you think that sellers have a right to know about it? I mean, do you guys recall the Quebecian guy that I mentioned in the first part of my video? He never paid me, but I couldn't tell anybody about it. I mean, seriously, there are people who make their fucking living off eBay, who have entire stores set up on the site. So not only can these people no longer be warned about fake buyers or just buyers that don't pay, but now they might have to wait 21 days to get their money. These recent changes are kind of freaking me out just a little bit. I will keep you guys posted on the situation in the coming days.